Does the unconscious mind process negatives? Well, the unconscious mind can't process negatives, right? True or false?
There's a huge mythology out there that surfaces in hypnosis and in, the NLP community. And people say the unconscious mind can't process negatives, so we must always state things in the positive. But is this really true?
Well, what do we mean by unconscious? Well, we're not talking about this seething pit of hurt and anxiety.
No, we're
right?
not.
So let's first define our conscious mind. It's the bits of information that are currently in our awareness. And we can talk about the George Miller 7 plus or minus 2. And
magic number.
whether it's an actual 7 plus or minus
model.
2, it's irrelevant. It's a model. But we can only hold in our conscious awareness certain bits of information. I can think of my telephone number right now, or I can focus on the monitor that I'm looking at, and I probably can't focus on all of that while being aware of the temperature of my toes.
That's right. And realize that all that we're not currently aware of consciously, and there are millions of bits of information coming in per second. Your brain is sorting through them. So we're saying the unconscious is all the stuff we're not currently aware of. And this is primarily a right brain function with hypnosis. It lights up the right brain. Now, your unconscious in our model contains all of your memories and everything you've ever learned, and it responds like a child. It will respond to language literally, and it'll respond to everything except the magic number 7 plus or minus 2.
Right. Okay. So we've got in the field of neurolinguistic programming, NLP, we generally have we have generalizations,
right.
We have distortion,
right.
and we have deletion. Now, we're not going to need to discuss generalization and distortion in this video. We do have a separate video that covers all three. But first, let's just go straight into it. What is deletion, and how does this relate to the topic?
Deletion is a major thing our brains do. We do it all the time. We shut out certain information from our conscious awareness. Now, it is another way that things work unconsciously too. So if I say, Chris, don't think of a pink elephant.
Damn it! I thought of a pink elephant.
Yeah, of course, because unless you're a linguist and can parse the language, you're going to think of a pink elephant. Absolutely. Because that's how our brains work. I bet that when you thought of that pink elephant, in order to not think of it, then you either mentally hit a delete key or whited it out or pushed it off the screen of your mind.
The moment you say, don't think of the color blue, don't think of a pink elephant, it will pop up in my brain, obviously.
Right.
And then I'll have to go, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to not do something else, wipe it out or shift topics or whatever the case may be.
And I think this is actually, it's said to happen in a 30th of a second, which is very, very interesting. Now, once you've thought of it, you've somehow gotten this out of the way, pushed it off the screen or whatever. So yes, your unconscious mind can process negatives, but it does it through the process of deletion, deleting the positive.
So the brain can get around to it, but it has to do an extra step. So in normal situations, the brain can process negatives just fine, right? Like, let's give a couple of examples. So a teacher might say to a class, don't open your textbook yet.
So they understand it.
Yeah, they'll think,
they make the internal representation of it opening and go, okay, that's what I don't want to do.
Right, don't open it yet. Okay.
Or, don't sign this contract until you read the entire agreement.
Right. Oh, sign. Oh, right.
Okay, I'll read it. Or we do understand it in our daily life.
Could be when you're filling out your username, don't use capital letters. And you think, oh, capital letter? Yeah, I'm not supposed to do that. Okay, I'll use lowercase letters. So it's all pretty natural, and you'll understand how to process negatives.
But there are times that this is going to go off the rails, and that's when you're under a lot of stress. Like if some guy comes in late at night, misses the brakes when he's pulling into the driveway, smashes through the front of the house.
His wife comes to his wife,
and he says, don't get mad at me. Now, right away, she's going to make an internal representation of what getting mad at him means, but because of the stress chemicals and all the stuff going on, she won't delete it. She's going to run that program and get real mad at him.
Right. And then similarly, let's say somebody is in a building that's on fire, and somebody runs in and says,
hopefully yells,
don't panic.
The worst thing you can say.
Your critical faculty is kind of offline at this point due to the stress. So the first thing that you think is, oh, I'm not supposed to panic.
And you'll light up with this, whatever panic is to you.
And then the stress response stops you from getting around to the deletion part.
Right.
And of course.
And then you're panicking like Jack the frickin' Panicker.
Right.
And this is very, very interesting because you can see this in a wide variety of situations. The bottom line is when people are under stress, tell them what to do instead of what not to do. So there's no deletion. So instead of don't panic, you're going to say,
remain calm.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Even if they're not calm, they'll calm down.
Okay, so let's look
Summarize
at it. Let's do a couple of challenges here for you all.
Okay.
So yeah, practice using positives, and you already said don't panic.
Remain
equals
calm.
Remain calm. We're going to transform it. So how about
baseball? Don't strike out.
Yeah, if I say don't strike out, well, get a base hit would be your alternative to place that in positive terms.
Okay, I'll give you another one. Parent to a kid, to a young child. Don't spill that milk.
Don't spill that milk. Well, there's your negative, right? So be careful with that cup would be a way to frame that in positive. So it's actually a good idea to practice stating stuff in the positive, but please don't misunderstand that and think that the brain cannot process negatives. It just takes an extra step, and it's, of course, a natural thing to do. Otherwise, every single teacher that said, don't open your textbooks yet, would have a whole bunch of, every single kid would go, I don't know what that means. And they would open their books.
That's
and that obviously doesn't happen. So with that said, let's just say we invite you to check out the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You'll find a link under this video with a link to get started for free. The Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy is what we run online. That's our flagship online hypnosis training program.
Yes, it is.
This is Mike Mandel.
Hello.
And I'm Chris Thompson, and we look forward to seeing you inside of the Academy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks again, and good night.